It's time for the Parent Memoirs.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the Parent Memoirs. I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Jessica James.
Okay, so post holidays,
Yes.
we're back in 2022.
Woohoo!
How was your holiday?
It was okay. I mean, it was different, but it was fine.
I could cut it out. What happened?
No, it's okay. So normally on Christmas Day, we'll do stuff here, like in the morning, and then we'll get dressed and go out and exchange gifts and do dinner and stuff with Mark and Susie. This year they came over a couple days before Christmas and we exchanged gifts, and then we still went out for dinner, but not for the gift exchange part. So it was fine. It was just a little different.
Yeah.
That's all.
No,
But
that
still
makes sense.
just as hectic as it normally is. So,
Well, I don't think there's a non-hectic Christmas in your future for a while.
well, not unless something happens and I'm just completely alone.
Exactly.
You know what? No, because even
There
then,
would have to be some serious tragedy.
right?
Like,
Yeah, because even then, like something would have to happen to like Mike's family also, because you know that would be a
just the
lot of
way it is.
unfortunate happenings in order for me to be completely alone.
That would be a super sized, serious series of unfortunate events. Like,
Right? Right? Because
you
then
would
I
take
would,
the books to like a whole other level.
yeah. Because even if something like that happened, then I would still have you guys.
And
So it's
you would
just,
just come over to my parents'
right.
house and they
Yeah.
would
I'd just be like, hi, I'm here.
just right down the street. There we go.
Right? Just move into your basement, Laura.
There you go. See, I'll give up my office. I've done it before. I'll do it
Right?
again. It's not a big
You
deal.
could just put a little shed in the backyard for me. I'll be fine.
I'd like to give you a tour of my house. There's my kidnapping shed back there where I keep Jessica. Don't
No,
worry about it.
I'll
It's
just
fine.
keep a little bowl of candy sitting outside. It'd be like free candy for all the little kids. Oh my goodness. So, just to segue for a minute,
Sure.
did I tell you about when my mom was here and we took the
No.
kids to the park? Okay, so the very first day that my mom got into town, and she is living out of her van. That's what she does. She roams around and lives out of her van, and she's converted it into like a little house. But it's basically just like an old DirecTV van. It's completely white. The windows are tinted out and everything. And so my mom just got here, and I was headed down to the park to do like the neighborhood was doing like a little pumpkin patch and like little carnival Halloween thing. And we get down to the park, we pull up, and we get out, and right as we're getting out at the park, this boy walks up and he's like, "Hey, you got any candy in there?" And this kid had to probably be like early teens, maybe like between 12 and 14. And I just looked at him and I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" I was like, "That is not smart." But it was funny. And I was like, "I'll give you that. But don't
Could
do
only
that."
made it worse if you had like a puppy or a kitten. Do you have a
Right?
puppy or a kitten in that van?
It was just, and my mom just stood there like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
She didn't get the joke at all, does she?
Oh, no, I think she did. I think she was just a little more bewildered that a young boy would just walk up to some white van that he has no clue who the people are and just be like, "You got any candy?"
It is a bit ballsy,
Yeah,
I would say, for a 12-year-old.
right?
I don't know. I don't know if I was that ballsy. I might have been that ballsy at 12. I don't know. But I was very naive still at that age. Like, 'cause I was
Right?
so, my childhood was so strange. You know what I
Right.
mean? Not allowed to watch anything but Disney till I was 12. I would
Yeah,
not have gotten that joke. 16, yes, 'cause at
right.
that point I was working in the adult video store.
Right? Exactly.
Like I said, y'all, I had a bit of a split childhood where my parents like kept us very sheltered and naive from the world. But then all of a sudden I started working at this video store in high school. That's how long it's been, but that's how old I am. A video store.
Hey, you know what? I remember Blockbuster nights too.
Oh
Getting
my
all excited to
God.
go to Blockbuster to pick out some movies, and you're in there with your parents, and it feels like you're in there for like 4 hours
Exactly. Exactly.
just to pick out like three movies.
Did you watch that last blockbuster the last blockbuster thing on Netflix?
Uh-uh.
It's so much fun. You should watch it because it does really bring you back to that time
Yeah.
of because there's one blockbuster left in existence.
Oh, really?
One. Yes, one. I think it's still there. I haven't looked recently. But when the documentary started to be filmed, I believe there were three, and then eventually it was just the one. But
Mm-hmm.
the manager of that store, I love her. She reminds me of my mom.
Yeah.
She's so wonderful and so personable, and she recognizes the experience that Blockbuster used to be.
Yeah.
And it really was a communal thing because everybody would go.
Right.
It,
Yeah.
it really was like waiting to see, what is a new release going to come back that's completely out? Something just hit the Dropbox. Was that it? Like
Right.
just walking around the smell
Right.
is very unique to Blockbuster. I don't know why. I
Mm.
don't know where that smell comes
Maybe
from, but
it's
okay.
the dusty cassette tapes. Maybe.
That is a distinct possibility.
Maybe.
That is a distinct possibility. But it's really fun and it's something that I don't know, it's not controversial at all. It's just a fun little documentary
Right.
that I don't know. It really for people like you and me, takes us back to
Yeah.
that time, which is fun. Okay, by the way, we have to pause here. I'm digging the setup
Oh, thank you.
behind you.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it looks so nice and open and like you have room to just
Right.
like move around and do all your stuff. I'm so excited for my tea towel, by the way. Let's do a quick plug on that. Why
Okay.
don't you talk about that? I love it. I got one. Y'all should get one. It's so much fun.
I was so excited that you bought one. But just for future reference, when you want to buy stuff, since we're local, just let me know and I'll sell it to you in person. That way you don't have to pay for shipping and stuff. So
Oh,
it'll
I
save
was
you
just
some money.
like,
No, I
I was
know.
just, you know what my thought process was behind that?
Hmm.
I was like, she can just bring it to me and she can keep the shipping money.
Well, and I thought about that, but then I was like, I'd feel really crappy handing it to her and be like, I know you paid for shipping, but
But
whatever.
I just told you I did it on purpose.
Oh,
Did
but
you already ship it?
yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh,
I
you know how
figured
you
you
should
would.
know how my brain works. I didn't want to be cheap and be like, well, she paid for shipping, but I'm just gonna drive over there anyways.
That was
So
my goal, so obviously I failed in
no,
communicating the goal, so that's really totally on me.
no, it's
That's
not.
all my fault.
No, I could have messaged you and been like, I know you paid for shipping, but do you want me to just drive it over to you? I could have done that. So, really, it's okay. I don't mind shipping it because, right now things are so chaotic. For me to actually leave the house is kind of challenging, anyways.
Totally get that.
So yes. So, the amazing Laura is fantastic in supporting my small business. And she bought, I made a tea towel, which is a kitchen dish towel, just in case anybody doesn't know. And it says, "Damn, it feels good to be a gangster."
But it's got like a little rose on
Yeah,
it
and
and
it has,
it looks like an old lady like tea towel, but when
yeah,
you read it, that's not what it is.
right, yeah, it has like a little wreath around the words with like some little flowers, so it looks all pretty. And it has that smart ass saying in the middle. And what's really funny about that is when I was making that on just this last Monday or whenever. And because the kids are out of school, all the kids were with me over at Susie's house while I was doing my embroidery. And Gabby came in and she read it. And she was like, huh, that's interesting. I was like, do you know the song? And she was like, there's a song? And I was like, yes. And so I played it for her, totally forgetting how foul mouthed it was. So she's sitting there listening to it. I'm just like,
Oops.
maybe we should stop.
Like, okay, we're gonna stop this right now.
Yes.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Right? Can you put links in our recording descriptions when you post them?
Absolutely. Send me whatever specific links that you want.
Okay.
Um, and if you want to put in a couple, I will put them down in the description box. They're so much fun. I almost got the sweet ass, or was
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I
is it
think it
sweet
was
ass?
Bet Your Sweet Ass or something like
Bet
that.
Your Sweet Ass. There we
Yeah.
go. And it's got a picture of a donkey. I almost got that one. But I was like, no, I'll splurge on the Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster because I'm gonna put that up in my office.
There you go. It's
I know it's a
fantastic.
tea towel, but I'm gonna put it up in my office because I can.
Exactly, you
Because I'm
can.
a grown up.
Right?
Let's talk about my mother.
I had a feeling we were going to get to that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
just so y'all know, this is kind of a parenting story, but it's kind of a parenting on the other end story.
Right.
Like more of a Dorothy and Sophia from the Golden Girls. By the way, R.I.P. my girl, Betty White.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that day when I heard that, I was like, no.
Okay, so just so y'all know, I'm not sure we've ever talked about this on
I
this
don't
show.
think we have.
I am Golden Girls obsessed.
Yes.
Always have been. Love it. Used to have their theme song as the ringtone on my phone.
That's mine for you.
See? There you go. Like, I am Golden Girls obsessed. The day that Rue McClanahan, who played Blanche, died, all day, I couldn't figure out what was going on. All day, I felt like you guys were, like, picking at me and, like, keeping me away from my desk. And I had all kinds of stuff to do. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, y'all know I got this shit to do. What is happening? So finally, by the time I get back, and I didn't realize it, I think it was like a tactic to keep me busy so that I didn't just start perusing the internet.
Yeah.
So I go back, I'm scoring calls, and by the end of the day, I'm like, okay, I just need a minute. And then I do my little, news search, just because I do that throughout the day. I just want
Yeah.
to see what's going on in the world. And the top headline was Golden Girls Blanche, Rue McClanahan passes away. And I'm sitting at my cubicle, and all of our cubicles were in a big line, and I went, and I think it was Tanya, or maybe you, I can't remember. Somebody yelled, oh shit, she saw it.
It could have been all of us. I mean, I don't know.
And I was like, and I went from this like panic moment to like, what? Like, y'all knew exactly what I saw. And then y'all came over and comforted me because I was crying, which was very, very, very sweet. So all of a sudden the other day, on New Year's Eve, I get this message in our group chat that Tanya actually tagged me in, and she never like tags people in messages. She was like, at Laura, are you okay? And at first I panicked because my father is not the best at communicating with everybody before he puts shit on Facebook.
Gotcha.
So, and I know y'all see stuff from him.
Sure.
Like,
So you thought something else was happening.
right. I was like, oh, so I start checking Facebook. I'm like, did my dad post something? Did my mom post something? Like, I don't know
Right.
what's wrong. Because I was working all day. I had to work all day. And I
Right.
was in the zone because it's end of year. And at my job, every piece of paper that's in the building has to be handled
Yes.
before the end of the year. So we were just in like crunch time. I wasn't looking at the news at all. So I see this message, are you okay? And I think somebody else asked me, I think it might have been you, who was like, yeah, are you all right? And I was like, why would I not be all right? What's wrong? I said, yeah, why?
And then I was like, have you been watching the news?
And I went, no. And then Tanya messaged, oh shit, sit down. And I swear to God, the second I saw Tanya's message that said, shit, sit down, I was like, oh fuck, it's Betty White. I know it's Betty White.
Yeah, because
That's the only reason.
And then I responded, Betty White, ...
Yep. And right before I got your message, I thought,
Yeah.
it's Betty. There's no reason they would be messaging me like this if it's not my parents or something they're seeing on Facebook. It's Betty. I knew it was, and I was like, no, dear God, no, please no. And then there it was, and yeah.
Well, and and before that, because I messaged Tanya and I was like, do you think Laura has heard about Betty White? And she was like, I don't know. I was just wondering that too. And I was like, should we say something? She has to know. She watches the news like all the time. Right? And Tanya was like, I would think so, but she hasn't said anything. So we had like this little like back end conversation trying to figure out if we should bring it up. Because once again, we didn't know what you were doing, what was going on, and we didn't want to just, break the news and have your day just be like shit, but at the same time, we didn't want you to be like, da-da-da, then all of a sudden stumble upon it with no support. And that was that.
I love the way you just phrased that. Stumble upon that with no support. I needed support when Betty.
Well, that was like
I know.
like one of the ones that I was like not looking forward to, as I think a lot of people were, because she's she's Betty White, and and the whole birthday thing that they were planning, and
Oh, God.
and Mike read that I think it was Life magazine had already like printed like the covers for the magazine or something celebrating her birthday and stuff. And so Tanya and I had this whole conversation, and then finally like, okay, we got to make sure everything's okay.
Y'all, if that does not tell you, first of all, how good of friends we all are, but second of all, how much I love this woman, that there had to be like a pre-breaking the news conference before they could tell me what happened.
Right? Yeah. It was,
funny.
we try to protect our girls' hearts.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so what was I
your
saying?
mom. We were getting ready to talk about your mom.
Thank you. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
My mother is Rose from the Golden Girls. She just is.
And just so you know, I have been cast as the Rose of the Golden Girls too. So I totally.
You totally are.
I
You
totally
are.
get it.
You absolutely are. You are the Rose. But here's the thing about Rose, and this is the thing about my mother, is the same thing. She is smart in her own way. Like, Rose was not stupid.
Right.
Okay? I know people, like, she was the ditzy one.
Mm-hmm.
She had moments where you were just like, she couldn't understand sarcasm. Like, she didn't understand certain things, but she was very, very smart when it came to in her own way.
Right.
My mother is very much the same way. My mother gets released from her doctor to go to North Dakota to visit my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother flies to North Dakota Friday morning, and they were flying into Minot from Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they hit the blizzard that was like moving through the area,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to they had to be diverted and landed in Bismarck because the weather was just too bad in Minot. So they were refueling and waiting for the weather to clear, and then finally they just canceled the flight completely. And my dad is like, "Yep, she's going to get a hotel room, she's going to stay the night, and then she's going to go tomorrow because my sister can't come get her. There's still a blizzard."
Right.
Right? She's got 3 little kids. What are you going to do? Go out and get stuck in the snow?
Exactly.
No. Stay where you're at, all right? She doesn't drive well at night to begin with. So you add the snow in? No, just get a hotel room. Fine.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, okay, stay the night in a hotel. Tomorrow morning, rent a car. It's like an hour and 50 minutes from Bismarck to Minot.
Okay.
It's just drive.
Right.
Get your bag and drive.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Right. When the sun's out.
Keyword. Tomorrow. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope. No, she did not. My mother, who is the most trusting person on the planet, apparently, she befriends this random woman on the plane my mother worked for a hotel. She ran a hotel for many, many years. And before I get a comment that she was a madam, no, she was not, but she would have been a damn good one if she was.
Hell yeah. Miss May the Madam. Oh, yeah.
Miss May the Madam. Absolutely. She would have rocked as a madam.
Madam May.
Madam May. I like that. Anyway, so she ran a hotel, and this woman is a desk clerk at a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And she's from Guam, and she had gone to Guam to visit her family and was trying to fly back and had to work the next day and was freaking out about her job.
Mm.
So mom and her feel like they're kindred spirits, and they decide to rent a car that night and drive into the blizzard. My mother rented a car with a total stranger and drove into a blizzard. If I had done that, you would never find my body. My parents would be so mad at me.
Do you think it's better that it was with a stranger woman and not a stranger man, at least?
Fair enough, but
Still, I
I'm
mean,
still just like, I'm like, we're gonna end up, she's gonna end up hacked up. And the first thing George said was, oh, she's planes, trains, and automobiling it. Because that's what she is. And then I
right.
text you guys what was happening, and that was Carly's first word. She was like, and then you thought the same thing. And for some reason, I don't know why, but it just popped into my head. If this were Tanya, and some random stranger from their plane was like, hey, you want to rent a car together and drive into the blizzard? Tanya would be like, I'm good.
Right?
No. I'm good. I'm good. No.
If you're,
You
if
stay
you're
over
like,
there.
fuck off, what the fuck's wrong with you?
And then the next day, Tanya's like, did she make it, or do we need to hunt down a Guamanian desk clerk? I'm
Right?
like, good God. So they drive into the blizzard,
Mm-hmm.
and then all afternoon I'm getting, and what, back up for just a second. I messaged the little girl at work, the little 24-year-old, what's going on, because her and I chat all day about, like, what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell her this, and she's like, Laura, calm down. Your mother lived through the 60s. I was like, do you think she had to forage for food and invent fire? What do you think the 60s were? Like, what the fuck? I was like, okay.
Well, let's see here, the 60s. I'm trying to remember some serial killers from the 60s.
Oh, there's the 60s and 70s are the heyday of serial
Right,
killers.
that's what I was thinking. It was like, Ted Bundy.
You've got the
maybe.
Night Stalker, Ted Bundy.
Right?
You've got the Golden State Killer. I mean, the list goes on, and it was the golden age of serial killers.
Right.
Like, it really was.
Right, so, I mean...
And there's a lot of theories about that, personally. For those of you who... I subscribe to the gas theory. It was the lead poisoning. I still believe
Right.
that. But
Right,
anyway.
So maybe... Since she was able to survive the 60s, she is just balls to the walls for anything. I mean, she survived the 60s. So.
She was the age of 7 to 17 in the 60s.
But
She wasn't really in the high risk category.
Regardless, she survived.
She wasn't like a prostitute in Detroit or something.
We're not talking about Jack the Ripper. No, I'm teasing.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. So she's driving through the snow, and I shit you not, at one point I'm at dinner, and all of a sudden she's sending me a video of her literally sitting on the side of the road in the snowstorm because the blowing snow and wind and darkness is too bad that they can't drive, and they're just stuck. And I'm at dinner in another state. What am I? I'm like, thanks, Mom. At least you're alive.
Right.
And a Guamanian desk clerk hasn't chopped you up into little pieces and left you scattered in a blizzard. Like, to make some sort of snow art. Like a blood snow angel or something.
May was here.
Was being the key word. Here lies May.
And a little over here. And a little over here.
So
a little under that tree.
Oh my God. They got unstuck. They got there. And my mother's first thing was she was just like, she ran into my sister's house and was like, oh, thank God you have a toilet. I was like, thank God you're alive.
Because I'm assuming she was communicating with Ginger this entire time as well.
Well, she was
right?
communicating with my dad. I don't know how much she was communicating with Ginger. So,
Oh, okay.
and Dad was like disseminating the information.
Okay, gotcha.
So, okay, so real quick, we'll do just a couple of quick updates. Unfortunately, and I know we haven't talked about this, we said in our last episode that we did on the night of our holiday party that we were going to cover the Maxwell trial stuff later. There's going to be a mistrial. We know it. Even though she was convicted, it's very annoying and obnoxious. I don't see a world where the judge does not grant a mistrial because one of the jurors, a gentleman, didn't put on his juror questionnaire that he had been the victim of sexual assault.
Oh, okay.
And then after the verdict, he went out and did a whole bunch of interviews and talked about how he told the story of his own sexual assault in the jury room and swayed a bunch of people.
Oh, that's not cool.
And it wasn't even the defense that brought it to the court's attention. It was the prosecution.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were like, "Wait a minute, that was not on your questionnaire.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?" Like, that's a no-no. You can't lie on a jury questionnaire. And even if it was a lie of omission, you can't do that. It creates a situation where she didn't get a fair trial. Unfortunately, it just is. So there's going to be a mistrial. I'll post the video to Emily D. Baker down below because it's very frustrating for everybody. And now these victims have to testify again.
Right.
They have to be re-traumatized.
So,
and that sucks.
So they'll get a new jury and then basically redo the whole trial.
And now the prosecution or the defense gets to learn from what the jurors have said.
Right.
And adjust their tactics. So
Right.
now she could really get off. Like, for real. It is what it is. There's a weird one in the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell.
Mm-hmm.
She's still incompetent. She's been declared incompetent, etc., etc. Her attorney has been removed. And there've been a lot of arguments and people making fun of her attorney. His last name is Means. I think it's Mark Means.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an idiot.
Mm.
He's an absolute idiot.
That's too bad.
Once this became a death penalty case, you have to be death penalty certified.
Okay.
And there was also a conflict that Chad was paying him rather than her, and et cetera. But they had signed something, but she's incompetent, so can she waive all this stuff? It just goes on and on and on. But ultimately, the thing I think is funny about this, and the reason I bring it up, is because the judge flat out said that this lawyer has potentially made himself a witness in the case. Because he was submitting stuff to the court as sworn declarations from him, not from his client. Like, oh, she said blah, 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 blah. And he certified it as a sworn declaration from him.
Okay.
Well, you as the attorney can't do that. It has to be from your client.
Right.
But she's incompetent. So now you've made yourself a witness, like a moron. I thought that was kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Quick update on the Duggars. I thought this was kind of interesting. Everybody was confused as to why the defense had done all the questioning of the technicality of whether or not he could be hacked and set up for this stuff and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden after that testimony, they went back into chambers and then came back out and they rested. And everybody was like, where was the defense?
Mm-hmm.
I guess the plan was to blame an employee. And at first, at the beginning of the trial, because the employee wasn't in the state and the prosecution could prove that.
Mm-hmm.
But the judge was still saying, well, we'll basically wait and see if they prove their case enough that you can blame this other person. Well, then the whole, oh, he was hacked and he was set up and all this stuff didn't work. So they went back and the prosecution apparently argued they didn't prove it. Right. They didn't prove anybody else was involved, and we could show this other person wasn't even in the state. And the judge was like, yeah. And I guess Josh and Anna were completely dumbfounded. They were convinced that they were going to be able to blame this other dude, and he would take the fall for it, and everything would be fine. And then all of a sudden they were told, no, you can't call this guy to the stand, and you can't blame him. You didn't prove there was a hack. You didn't prove he could even do a hack, or that one occurred. Right. He wasn't in the state. No. And I guess at that moment they knew, like, oh shit, he's going to jail.
Yeah.
And good.
Right, exactly. That's where he deserves to be.
You're going to try to blame an innocent. Now, granted, this guy isn't innocent. He is a convicted sex offender. But everybody's like, he's tried very hard. He understands what he did was wrong. I guess he was very young. I don't know. I'm not trying to make excuses for anybody. But to blame, even somebody like that, to blame them for something they didn't do, pretty sure the Bible says that's like a sin.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's something about bearing false witness or something, maybe.
Sounds about right.
I don't know. I'm not a biblical scholar.
Nope. Not by any means.
Thank God. Not by any means.
And when is Gannon Stouch?
That is a great question. I Googled that this morning. Letitia, I think it's June.
Is it June? Oh, I thought she had something coming up in like February or March. Mike has a summons for jury duty.
I'm perversely excited. I really hope I have It's
Well,
perjury.
and I was talking to Mike about that, how, you and I had a conversation if we were jurors on that case, and he was like, you wouldn't be allowed to be. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, it'd be perjury. You can't sit and lie and say that you can be totally biased about the situation or unbiased and, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, sure, I can. He's like, no, you can't, because your voice is recorded all over the world talking about how much you hate this bitch. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, we couldn't quite get away with it. I would milk it for all it's worth. I would keep moving to the end of the line to keep watching,
Right,
like the questioning. Like, no, 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 you go ahead.
right.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll just wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll wait till the very end. It's just
Yep.
because I want to see. Like, look, I will voluntarily kick myself off here, but can I get a daily ticket to come watch
Right?
every day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, March. It's, according
Is
to
it March?
KKTV, the trial is expected to start in March.
Okay. Wow, so that's only 2 months away, really.
So right now, though, let's see here. March 28th, from 9 News, as of December 9th, her trial was set for March 28th. And she's supposed to have her next mental evaluation done down in Pueblo, but that there was a 352 person wait list for mental evaluations down at the Colorado Mental Health Institute in Pueblo. And so, because of that wait list, her trial might get pushed out, because I guess it says the trial is set for March 28th, but written report from a completed mental health evaluation must be disclosed 63 days prior to the trial. And so, because of the wait list, they might not have that much time to get it in within 63 days of the trial. That's a weird number. 63 days? I don't know.
That is a weird
It's
number.
just a weird number. So,
I wonder why.
so
I don't
yeah.
understand why the judge is even authorizing her to be on the. She's had 2.
Right.
She's had 2.
Well,
And both have declared that she is a raggedy bitch, but she's not crazy.
Well, the last paragraph in the article says this evaluation is specifically for Stouch's actions after Gannon's alleged killing, and that she's already been found competent to stand trial for murder. So this is because of maybe her behavior afterwards. So I killed somebody and I was sane, but then because of my actions, now I'm insane. I don't know.
I don't think that absolves you. Because I mean, even with Lori Vallow, they're saying that she's not competent now to aid in her own defense.
Right.
Right? Which is why it's been delayed for her. But it's not saying, oh, she's crazy and can't be found guilty because she was crazy. That's not what they're saying, at least as of yet. What are you trying to okay, so what are you trying to prove? Like that her after she killed him, she went crazy. Okay, that doesn't absolve you from when
Right.
you did it and you weren't. Now we just have to get you uncrazy with medication and therapy, which is pretty much what they're doing with Vallow.
Right.
In order to be competent to stand trial. That's the only thing I don't understand what.
Maybe it'll help them determine how to proceed with the trial. Maybe I don't know. I don't know enough about this kind of stuff to.
I'm sure there's a bigger 4D chess strategy,
Right.
strategery going on that I'm not
Right.
smart enough to
Right.
figure out.
Yeah.
I think it's strange. Who knows?
Maybe Mike will get
Okay,
to be on that jury, but I don't think he would tell me about it if he did.
Oh no. But afterwards, we would have the greatest interview ever.
Right.
Oh, speaking of that, I wanted to read some of these comments from our Josh Duggar episode. Okay, so we got some really nice comments on our Duggar episode here. So Alexandra the Great, she is one of our super fans on Q as in Cucumber. Love you. She says, "Hey ladies, hope you're doing great. I remember watching the Duggar TV show because I was fascinated by how such a large family functions, having no idea of the depravity behind the scenes. It sickens me. I think it sickens everybody. Everybody is a little
Right.
just flabbergasted that this is what was going on
Yeah.
behind closed doors, which honestly we shouldn't really be. Like, a lot of stuff goes on behind closed
Right.
doors. Amanda Page said, great recap. The Observe's video on Josh was good, but you haven't seen his post on Jim Bob. Jim Bob. It's a must. He did both of them with his wife Megan. Lived for her input as well. So the woman that I thought was his either assistant or producer is
Mhm.
actually his wife. I didn't want to assume that. So thank you for the clarification. Somebody else clarified that as well. Jade Love said, Emily D. Baker is a fantastic source. Please, for the love of God, do not get your info from Without a Crystal Ball. Observe is such a great channel, and is such, Megan, his wife, is such an awesome woman. I love them. I love that Observe channel. It's really fascinating
Yeah.
to watch. Oh, this is from YouTuber named Disabled Girl. OMG. Jim Bob. My son is scummy. I don't care about my daughter's abuse because the IBLP teaches us that whatever happens to us is God's will. Now, excuse me while I go find my fans and get their votes. People in parade crowd. Crickets.
Right.
This is from Ella Kay in Ireland. She commented, oh my God, you are singing my song. Jim Bob can't remember what Josh did to his daughters. I so wished I believed in God so I could believe in hell, 'cause old Jimbo needs to hit the hottest part of it. It's vile, vile, evil sickness. Like, what the fuck? He doesn't give a shite about them. Narcissist. I can't even. You guys have done a brilliant job talking about the creepy heap of shite without throwing up. Please keep up the expletives. Makes me feel alive.
Fuck yeah.
So thank you, sweetie, from Ireland.
That's
We
pretty
appreciate
fantastic.
you listening. Thank you
Yes.
so much. That was so nice. We did our oh, that reminds me. I had a Jessica moment. I had a Jessica moment. Yeah, I'm now in your category with Tanya.
Yes. That just makes my day.
She even called it out. She
Yeah.
was like, "You and fucking Jessica." I was like, "Yeah, I know."
So what'd you do? What'd you do?
Okay, so if you haven't listened to our last episode of Cues and Cucumber, we were talking about the Elizabeth Holmes verdict.
Yes.
We finally have a verdict. But during the course of the conversation, we were talking about the jurors and jury instructions and things like that. And Tanya said, I've had jury duty a ton. She was like, but I've only been picked once.
Okay.
And she was like, but it was super open and shut. A girl broke into the guy's house, was like messing up his stuff, tearing up his stuff, terrorizing him, and then tried to choke him out with a phone cord.
Okay.
Right? And then she said, that's how long it's been since I've been on a jury that there was a phone cord, right? And without even blinking or thinking, I said, was it avocado green? And she was like, bitch, it was beige. I'm not 80.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And she was like, you and Jessica and your little fucking quips about how old I am. I raised kids in the Stone Ages. And I was on a jury with an avocado green phone.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I thought she was going to reach, because we had to do it remotely. I thought she was going to reach through the computer and bitch slap me.
Oh, that's fantastic.
She was laughing. Don't think anybody thinks she's really mad, but she was
Right.
like, what the fuck? I'm not that old.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, my mouth hurts from laughing. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all the nice comments. And if you want to do all the things, the likey, subscribey, commenty, sharey, whatever, all that good stuff. And keep sending us your deep dive topics or anything you want us to talk about, any questions, anything like that, to theparentmemoirs@yahoo.com. So until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Jessica James.
Love your faces.
Keep it sane.
Hey, Parent Peeps. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or on your favorite podcasting platform. Stay strong, mommies and daddies. Love your faces.